Hello, you lovely internet people. Today, I will be talking about the best Nvidia GPUs for 1080p gaming, depending on what you're doing and your price range and whatnot. And I'm only going to do Nvidia cards because if I do Nvidia cards, then there's less cards to talk about, making for a shorter video, which I like to have, so then people with short attention spans don't drop out, and I might be talking too long. So I want to get this done all in one run, so let's start from the beginning. And I'm only going to do the 900 series because the 700 series has already been phased out. You never see that unless it's the 750 Ti, but we're not going to be talking about the 750 Ti because we've got a better card than the 750 Ti. We've got the GTX 950. This is a great entry-level 1080p card, as in you want to play games at 1080p, yet you don't need to play every single game at Ultra. This is mainly aimed for people playing MOBAs like CS. I was about to say CSGO is a MOBA. I meant like League of Legends, Dota 2, and other things, because Nvidia has specific drivers and features in GeForce Experience that reduce the latency on your screen. I don't think they've been released yet, but they will be. They will be. But other than MOBAs, this card is fantastic for maybe you're playing, in terms of AAA games, it can play some at Ultra settings, maybe Battlefield 4, but Battlefield 4 is kind of getting outdated now, so there's that. But for other games like The Witcher 3, among other things, you won't be playing at Ultra probably. You could at 30 FPS, you probably wouldn't like it, but if you want to have a playable experience, 60 frames per second or more, then you just drop down the settings. So, next up, we've got the GTX 960. Now, I do not recommend getting the version with 2 gigabytes of VRAM. I recommend the ones with 4 gigabytes of VRAM, because the difference in performance between a 950 and a 960 is not that huge. Therefore, the GTX 950 is better in terms of price to performance. So the only reason to get a GTX 960 is if you're getting a 4 gig variant. So then if you're playing a game with a lot of textures and whatnot, you can make use of that extra VRAM. But other than that, I would recommend getting a 950 over a 960 if you do not need that 2 extra gigs of VRAM. Next up, we've got our GTX 970. Now, this has 4 gigs of VRAM, but we all know about the RAM gate thing with it only having 3.5 gigs of high-speed VRAM, while the other 0.5 gigs is lower speed, so we won't talk about that too much. If you want to hear about that, just search up GTX 970 RAM gate. But this card is fantastic for AAA titles at the highest settings. So if you wanted to do a lot of that, you just want to go balls to the wall with the highest settings, beautiful graphics and everything, then this is the card for you. But if you don't necessarily want to go for the highest settings, then maybe you want to step up to 1440p. This card is good for entry-level 1440p. So if you want to do that, you can do that, but this is about 1080p cards, so we're not going to talk too much about that anymore. Next, we've got the GTX 980. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're just like, the 980 is not good for 1080p gaming. Well, it is, but not for 1080p at 60 hertz. So if you have a 144 hertz refresh rate monitor at 1080p, then that is perfectly fine for a GTX 980. Anything lower than that is just completely overkill, and you're just wasting so much performance that could be used. But if you don't have a 144 hertz 1080p monitor, then you'd go with 1440p maybe. Yeah, you'd step up to 1440p at 60 hertz, maybe 144 hertz, but if you're getting into that range, you might SLI them, and then expenses there. But this is about single GPUs, not having multiple GPUs. So there you have it. Starting from the 950 to the 980, those are your cards that work well for 1080p gaming. And I told you I'd get it all done in one run, and I did it. So I hope you all enjoyed. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, leave a comment letting me know why you like or dislike respectively. And above all, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And the next video will probably be about AMD cards. And I just dropped a pen. Yeah, that is amazing. And this is what happens when I try to get stuff done in one run. It ends up going longer than I want it to. So, bye.